Welcome to Travel Buddy, presented by Switchfly. In this podcast, we talk about all things travel, rewards, and loyalty. Let's get to it. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Travel Buddy podcast, presented by Switchfly. I have with me today a very special guest, and Greg Ramey, the Managing Director of BermudAir Holidays. Welcome, Greg. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Brandon. Happy to be here.
And we also have today a returning guest, a fabulous guest, Jessica Steinberg, who is the Travel Packaging Marketing Manager for Switchfly. Thanks for being on the show again today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So today we are talking about BermudAir and how you guys have used loyalty and packaging services to enhance the way that this airline delivers great service, great airlines. But I have a question before we start, Greg.
Bring it.
So how many people travel to Bermuda every year? I gotta know.
Oh my goodness. I should know the answer to that. I don't off the cuff. I can tell you there's 65,000 people that live in Bermuda, and it's a very, it's a population that travels quite a bit. The actual visitation is most certainly in the six figures, but I don't have the number off the cuff.
Okay. I'm just curious because I know that the Bermuda Triangle is a thing. Is that a myth? Just right off the bat, what's going on with that?
So the Bermuda Triangle, what you need to understand is that Bermuda is an island surrounded by a reef system that when people were arriving by boat many years ago did not understand the reef system and the rocks that go along with it. So there were many shipwrecks going to or from Bermuda, hence the Bermuda Triangle. It's now created this incredible scuba diving and snorkeling and reefs, system to explore. It's beautiful. It's that in itself is a reason to go down there. That's even just before you get to land, and it's really something.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that for us, because I'm sure there are many listeners that are tuning in and being like, should I even go?
No, there is no danger
dangerous.
in the Bermuda Triangle that you should be concerned about at all.
Okay, good. I'm glad we got that out of the way. So now, continuing on, Greg, tell us about your role with BermudAir and tell us about a little bit of the history of the airline and what you guys are up to these days.
So when BermudAir first started, we had 3 gateway cities traveling to and from the U.S. and Bermuda. And we're a pretty small but we're a small organization. So we were all doing a little bit of everything. This is at that time. And I fielded so many phone calls of people who had just booked with us, were about to book with us, that were looking for hotel recommendations, to the point where it became, almost its own full-time job, just being the hotel director and just giving recommendations and fielding just different criteria that people were looking for and trying to give a recommendation as best as I could. And it became pretty obvious very quickly that there was an opportunity for us to offer hotels along with our flights to create value for the customer, raise the average order value for us as an actual product, and provide value to everyone involved. So, we started playing around this heavily manual in the sense of, this was to the point where, if somebody needed a hotel, I could go out on their behalf and source different quotes from different hotels and go back and forth. Each reservation was an extremely lengthy process. And we went through that for a really extended period of time until we ultimately decided, hey, look, there's a product market fit here. Let's research how we can solve this. And that's where we found Switchfly. And, Switchfly's work with other airlines was validation for us that, hey, this clearly works, it's scalable. Let's see how we can make this work. And we worked with the Switchfly team from soup to nuts, really creating what we have today. And it's still in its infancy. We're right now offering flight, hotel, and experience packages in Bermuda, now also in Anguilla, and then also in all of our gateway cities. So, we fly to and from Boston. You can book, if you're in Bermuda, you can book a flight and hotel package in Boston. Cool. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. You mentioned loyalty before. We actually don't offer loyalty yet, but it's something we're exploring very, very seriously. And Switchfly has really been an enabler for us to really begin offering attachment rates and building out just we're not just selling seats anymore. We're selling far beyond that. And Switchfly is the crux of that.
Amazing. Okay, so for folks that may not be very aware of BermudAir and the maybe history that you guys have, or kind of like your destinations and your fleet and all that. Like, give us a little bit of an overview of the company so far.
So we're Bermuda's airline. We're the flag-carrying airline for the country of Bermuda. We fly to and from Bermuda and multiple cities in North America. So that's Canada and the United States. We fly Embraer 175 and Embraer 190 aircrafts. We're really, really proud of the service that we offer on board. We also serve, all Bermuda products on board as well. And it's the customer experience that we really tout. I think that we're able to, because of our size, do a lot of things that larger airlines can't with regards to going above and beyond for the customer in the experience leading up to, during, and post travel. And then from a business side, just as well, we're able to be nimble. We can be quick. And just in general, we're like a really durable team. We have so much going on at all times. And it's really about what we can do for the country itself. It's something that we're all really proud of. Bermuda, the feedback loops are super, super fast because, we all get coffee at some of the same places. We are all shopping at the same places. We are at the same restaurants. I mean, we are there with our core user group and working towards how to attract more people to the island. And tourism is a major, major piece of Bermuda's, heartbeat. For those who don't know much about Bermuda, Bermuda is a insanely large financial and insurance hub. It's actually considered the global risk capital of the world. And I don't know the actual numbers. But I'm told that 75% of the Fortune 500 have their global headquarters in Bermuda. And so it's this huge amount of back and forth for board meetings and then for the insurance companies. And then on top of all of that is leisure. And so that's the flight hotel packages and so forth. And so the population at large is constantly flying. It makes it incredibly unique compared to other countries that Bermuda gets compared to. And geographically, it's not even that close to, but, Bermuda is constantly compared to the likes of the Caribbean and so forth. But Bermuda is actually 700 miles due east of the Carolinas in the States. And so it's in the Gulf Stream. So we get, the beautiful pink beaches and the blue water and some of that warm weather. But we're a long ways from Barbados.
Okay, yeah. So I knew where it was on a map, but I do associate it with the Caribbean. I don't know why.
The Beach Boys. Kokomo has just really.
Okay, well, this is before my time, Greg. I don't know.
Okay.
But I do actually know that song. Okay, so hold on, I just want to stop for a second because maybe other listeners know this, but this is a risk. What did you say? A risk capital?
It's referred to as the global risk capital of the world. So
I did not know this.
It's a huge hub of insurance and then something called reinsurance. So insurance companies get their own insurance, and that's all done through Bermuda.
Why Bermuda?
I believe it happened in the 80s or 90s where the country put together. I'm going to get roasted for getting this.
No, it's okay. We can look it up later.
Something to the tune of how they said these bylaws that allowed for, it really catered to the international business crowd. And then it's the insurance companies that came first.
This is fascinating. Okay, I didn't know this. This is an aside. I'm sorry to everyone listening.
Well, what's really interesting is that everyone you run into is just on their way to Zurich, on their way to London, on their way to New York. It creates this insane amount of connectivity to the rest of the world that people just don't expect. It's got a very much a island vibe, but with a noticeable British touch as well as North America.
Interesting. Okay, so that's helpful about Bermuda itself. Tell us something that's unexpected about the airline, about BermudAir.
Something that's unexpected. I would say that, we have a great story recently where one of our employees who is Bermudian just became the first commercial pilot in Bermuda's history. So he flies for BermudAir, and his name's Tariq. He's a great gentleman, and he was working in our safety department originally, and all this time has been working towards his pilot's license, and he's now gotten the hours, and he's flying, commercial for us. We take a lot of pride in hiring locally, and that comes through in our corporate side, but as well as our cabin crew, and now our pilots, which is really exciting. I think that that's something that the company entirely is super, super proud of.
That's cool. Amazing. Okay, so getting back on track a little bit more. So tell us, when you guys have decided that you needed to resolve this kind of hotel, I guess, recommendation engine, problem. And then
You're being
you
very
guys,
polite, but yes, it was really me pulling my hair out.
yeah, sure. I can imagine. And so you found a good technology solution to resolve that kind of bottleneck there. What's it been like since then? Now that Switchfly is a part of this packaging solution, have you seen, any kind of dramatic effects one way or the other since then?
Well, it's allowed us to promote this externally and really market it because it can scale. Previously, if we wanted to push holidays, it was, oh no, I have to go through this. And it's allowed us to really seamlessly marry air inventory with hotel inventory and push that at mass. It's created an entirely new category for us, a new revenue stream, and one that can work while we sleep. There was hesitation with some of the hotel partners originally because they knew we were doing this manually, and it allowed us to break through those barriers as well. We can scale with some of the larger properties on island, and it allows us to carry a bigger stick. We're not just getting people to the island; we're helping them decide where to go.
Cool. Which has got to be huge for the hotels. This is going to be very, very helpful for them.
Absolutely. We're the only real point of sale that's Bermuda based on the island. And so, other airlines are obviously servicing Bermuda from a air only perspective, then also a flight and hotel perspective. But I think there's a bit of a natural moat around Bermuda. And I think that most islands are like this. And the fact that we're inside that moat, we're on the island, we're friends with all these people, we can really make things move and shake a lot faster. And it really works for us instead of against us.
That's very cool. Very cool. Well, Jessica, I'll bring you into the conversation here. I'd love to hear what your perspective or relationship to BermudAir has been, and if you're seeing any kind of similar effects across other airlines and that have implemented this kind of technology.
Yeah, for sure. Well, working with Greg and his team has been wonderful so far. And the one thing that I noticed immediately about their team that Greg kind of alluded to is because they're small, everyone's involved in almost everything, which honestly, from my perspective, is wonderful. And they are so willing to try new things, which is so important in this space. Not every airline is going to have the same type of package customer, and finding out who that package customer is can take a while. But in order to get there, you have to fail fast and try new things. And Greg and his team being so willing to try new placements, new initiatives, new even, ways of saying things in their copy for marketing and things like that is going to be, I think, so integral to their success. And we've already seen it, him and I worked together on a new placement that they have in their booking flow and things like that we've already seen success from, which is so exciting. But yeah, I think that in and of itself is huge, just their willingness to try new things. And from the airline perspective, being willing to offer something exclusive to these package customers. Like we talked about in our last episode, the onus is on the airline when they start offering packages. Why would a customer book it? Hopefully you're giving them something extra that they can't get from Expedia, let's say. And Greg and his team are very willing to do things like that, which is really exciting.
Yeah, and Brandon, just so you know, I've got Jess on speed dial, and so we're constantly trying to explore and experiment with different things, and Jess has been a huge asset in that. And at the very least, a sounding board to what maybe we should do, or to, maybe we should try it a little bit differently, and Jess has been huge in that. And so yeah.
That's cool.
Just to echo what she said.
What I love about that story is obviously, Switchfly being a technology solution, there's so many people behind it, and it is such a creative endeavor, if you will. And so you guys have this relationship that you've been, working on and trying new things and trying creative solutions to different things. But also, Greg, like you mentioned, we see these people, on the ground. We have relationships with these people, and so you're really using technology to build that bridge and make the connections and between people and traveling and the joy that you get from traveling, the memories that you can make. It's such a cool way to kind of present what I think you guys are doing, which sounds very tactical and technical, but it's really just creating a place for people to experience each other, which is really neat.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
And trying to help them discover how close Bermuda is to North America. Everyone is always shocked when I tell them it's 90 minutes from Boston.
Is that really? Oh, wow.
Just like this, Brandon. Yes,
okay.
It really is.
I didn't know that. Okay, so I'm in Texas. I'd be a few hour flight. I'd be 3 or 4 hours probably to get there. But if you're in Atlanta, Atlanta's a huge hub. It's got to be 2 hours? Nothing.
Brandon, I can tell you that Texas comes up quite a bit inside the walls of tourism in Bermuda. I'm not going to say Bermudaire specifically, but tourism at large. Texas, hot topic.
So you got a lot of Texans there, eh? That's great. Very cool. So, Greg, tell me what's next for BermudAir? Where, let's say 2026, 2027, what are some things that you guys have on the horizon? Of course, no, capturing any kind of company secrets or anything, but I'm just curious, where's your plane headed these days?
It's no secret that beginning in December, we're going to be offering direct service from North America to Anguilla, which is really, really exciting. We're going to be going there from New York, Boston, and Baltimore, which is huge. Right now, there is nonstop service to Anguilla direct from Miami via American. And so I can tell you that the likes of Anguilla are extremely excited about new nonstop service from the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. This has been hugely successful for us. We recently brought on more aircraft to our fleet to service Bermuda during, the high and shoulder seasons. And in order to keep those planes flying, we're porting them to Anguilla for the winter season. And this is something that we, have already sort of earmarked as a success to date. And if this trend continues, we see, other opportunities being raised down the road. But I'll leave it at that. But the Anguilla service is super exciting. We're continuing to fly to Bermuda year-round from all of our gateways. But the Anguilla edition is great. We've learned a lot. I've now been to Anguilla. It's beautiful there. And it's a bit of a different animal than Bermuda. And so there's a lot of learning and education to be done. But I can tell you that the people are so, so great there. The beaches are beautiful. And so it's been a lot of fun.
I am Googling Anguilla now. Anguilla. Tell me about Anguilla.
It's very close to St. Martin, which is a huge hub. But there's a ferry or another sector over air that you can take to get to Anguilla. So creating the nonstop is a huge piece. It's typically a high-end traveler. The resorts there are second to none. It's really, really a premium product that they offer there. And it's small, similar to Bermuda. So, it's not this, overwhelming territory that we're taking on. And look, we don't begin service till December. So there's so much to learn until then. But it's something that we're really excited about. And again, it's an underserved market that we believe we can really, really breathe some life into.
Cool. Exciting. Maybe one day, nonstop from Fort Worth, Texas. We'll be there soon.
Look, nothing's impossible, Brad. These planes can fly and land just about anywhere.
That's great. Awesome. Okay, very cool. I'm excited about this. So launching in December. Very neat.
Yes, and that'll go through May.
Nice. Okay. All right. Get that spring season in. I love it. Okay. So any closing thoughts before I have some final questions for you? Tell us more about Bermuda.
I can tell you that Bermuda is somewhere that's so close that everyone should go. I mentioned how kind the people are in Anguilla, but Bermuda it's tough to beat, just the hospitality there. There's also an insane amount of history that anybody can appreciate. I would say that there's incredible food scene, boating and sailing, the scuba diving. I'm still waiting to get PADI certified so I can go down there. Everything, it's a beautiful country. If you ever have an excuse to go there for business, you should take it. And then otherwise find your own excuse and take your family there.
Well, clearly, if you're in insurance or risk capital, you should definitely go. This is the place to be. I did not know this.
Yes, definitely. I'm curious what these questions are. Bring it on.
Yes. Okay. So what is your favorite place you have ever traveled?
My favorite place I've ever traveled, I recently went to Kiruna, Sweden to see the Northern Lights. And it was an old mining town. There's just not much going on up there. And it was really simple, really cold, and just beautiful. And I had no idea what to expect. And I've never taken a trip like that. And I thought that is right now my favorite place that I've traveled.
Really interesting. Okay, I've never been up there before. That seems too far for me. I feel
you basically go to Stockholm and then take another flight to the farthest north city.
Oh my gosh, I'd rather go to Bermuda, but maybe one day I'll get up there. Okay, next question, last question. Where are you traveling next?
So I travel quite a bit for work. So I'm gonna put a pin in that travel. Okay. I will say I'm right now planning a honeymoon in Japan.
Oh, wow! Congrats, that's exciting.
Yeah,
Very
thank
cool.
you.
I've heard great things about Japan. I've never been there.
I have never been either. I've been to Asia, but my now wife hasn't. And I can tell you that tea houses are very high on her list. I'm trying to fit in some skiing. Well, I think that we're going to be able to, we're going to make everybody happy. But yeah, it's super exciting. And we're having Christmas in San Francisco. So we're kind of thinking we kind of stop there before or after to water down the flight lengths. And yeah, it should be good. That is also in its infancy of everything. Oh, and you know what? There's one more thing I should have said, that yesterday was BermudAir's second birthday. Our first flight was 2 years ago on September 1st. And it would have been in August, but there was a hurricane. And so first flight was September 1. And so we are actually, everybody that's on island right now is having a celebration at the office right now.
Really? That is so cool.
So yeah, we've come a long way since then. And a lot of that is due to, those feedback loops that I mentioned. We're right there with our customers. And so we are taking every piece of feedback, good, bad, or otherwise, and trying to make changes on the fly. And that's how we've gotten to where we are today. That's how we're working with the likes of Switchfly to offer packages and the loyalties down the road. I want everyone to know that we hear you, and we are constantly working to evolve and to grow and to create an airline that the country of Bermuda can be proud of.
Well, it seems like you guys are doing a great job, and I'm really excited now to check out Bermuda. It hasn't been something that's been high on the list just for many different reasons. Bermuda Triangle notwithstanding. But I'm very excited. I should check this out now. So, Greg, thank you so much. I'm excited to keep following your work and what you guys are doing at BermudAire. It seems really neat. And Jessica, thank you for joining.
Yeah,
and we'll catch you next time. All right,
thank you, Brandon. Jess, always have to see you. I'm sure I'll call you 10 times before the end of the day.
Good to see you, Greg.
That's great. All right, see you guys.
All right, take care, guys.
Bye.